So we've been talking about the support team model, and in particular, we have talked about the three main pieces, and we're still on number one and some details about it. The three pieces are that people need care, they need extra support going through healthcare issues and problems and challenges. People want to care and reach out to them, and finally, a way to do that is by utilizing what we call the support team model. And we talked about the kind of support that we're discussing is practical, emotional, and spiritual support. We're not talking about health care, home health support. So what I find, or what we have found through the years, is that many people are reluctant to accept care or support from other people. And there's some reasons for that. And let's maybe think about what are some barriers. And maybe to give it a little bit more of a picture here, a barrier. What is the part of the barrier that keeps people from saying, sure, I'd love to have a support team? Here in the United States, we like to be as independent as possible, but that's not always possible. So a couple of reasons, I think, that we've learned from support teams through the years. One is that people don't want to be too much trouble. They don't want to impose too much. They want too much trouble. They want to be able to say, no, I don't want you to have to do something for me, and so I don't want to be too much trouble. Second, one of the things that people say or do or feel is that they don't want to lose privacy when they're going through difficult times. In other words, they don't want just people dropping by anytime, and they don't know when that's going to be, and that's a lot to manage, and you don't have a whole lot of extra energy when you're going through difficult healthcare issues. So losing privacy. And then the third area would be maybe one that says something like don't know how to describe their needs, or maybe don't even know what their needs, don't know what to ask. Let's put that, don't know what to ask, what to ask for. In other words, they may know what some of their needs are, but they're not sure what's okay to ask. And so these are some of the reluctant barriers we run into in trying to help other people. Too much trouble, they don't want to be too much trouble, lose privacy, and don't know what to ask. On the other side, we have to ask, how can we make this so that people can hear it and accept it? Because we want to help, we want to make a difference. And so some tips that we'll make right here. If you're trying to encourage someone to accept a team, first and foremost, whatever we do, it needs to be easier for the person, not harder. It needs to be easier, the whole process. And one of the ways we can do that is by having a leader who is the primary contact. Doesn't have to be the only contact person, but the primary person who talks to on a regular basis the person needing extra support, and makes it simpler, easier to communicate, and then that person communicates with the rest of the team. At least that's a good way to start. The person needs to understand, we want to make this easier on you, not more complicated. Second, we want to make sure that the person understands that we want to be respectful of your time and privacy. So respectful. We don't want to just show up And we want to make sure that the person understands we do not want to invade your privacy. We want to be respectful of who you are and what your needs are, and you're not going to have people just dropping in anytime and make this more complicated. Thirdly, whatever we offer, whatever it is that we would like to do for another, the more specific the offer, the more likely the acceptance. The more specific the offer. For instance, if I were to say, is there anything I can do to help? Well, that's so broad that most people will say, no, thank you very much for the offer, but no thank you. But if we ask the question like this, I was wondering, I was going to be cooking for my family tomorrow night, and I was wondering if you liked whatever it is, spaghetti or chicken dinner or whatever. And I was wondering if I could bring over extra helping of that to you. It's a very specific offer. And so the more specific we can be, the more likely the acceptance. Finally, we want to make sure that we do not overpromise. Don't overpromise. We don't want to make it sound like if we form this team, we'll be able to do everything in the world. Don't overpromise. We want to say we want to do what we can do, and we'll let you know what that is, and we want to hear what you need, and we'll let you know if we're able to do that. And so here are the tips. Make things easier. Make sure we're respectful. Offer specific things, and don't overpromise.